just over 30 minutes from the centre of Ireland's capital city, is one of the strangest habitats in the world. This is Ireland's highest blanket bog, nursery to 5 rivers, including the city's vital River Liffey. Here, in a harsh, ever-changing acidic environment, nature's adaptations to live can provide us humans with valuable tools for our own future survival as well.
I love it. I can see why some people would think that it's very barren and bleak because there's no trees. It's usually kind of grey and wet, but that's why bogs are the way they are, because a lot of rain. So that's what's going to create the bog. It is a case where you have to slow yourself down, stop, give it time, and you will see or hear the grouse calling, the pipits calling, the merlin flashing past you.
It's really a beautiful landscape, but it's something you have to walk over. You feel it as well. It's really soft. It's beautiful to walk on. It's dangerous as well, so you have to be extremely careful. Don't go out on your own. Some of the areas are quaking, they're swamps. You can just disappear into the sphagnum and never be seen. You know, there are animals and plants there to be seen, strange plants, carnivorous plants, evolved and adapted over thousands of years to cope with difficult conditions.
Here we see the smallest little sundew. There's little balls, the dew like on the balls, and then it's really sticky, so you'll have a little insect and it gets stuck. It's not able to remove itself, and then that closes up, and it's all the nutrients are sucked out. And I suppose the thing is that this is a nutrient poor habitat, and that's one of the plant's mechanism to survive, is by taking nutrients from things that it catches. So it's clever little thing.
The vital builder of the bog is a moss, and its special adaptations to its harsh surroundings has attracted the interest of the space industry.
So on a bog, what you want is sphagnum moss. That's really what you want, and that where you have sphagnum moss and it's growing, that's a good sign. That's what you want. It's kind of like, they call it it's like a drowned cat as it looks. I'll tell you what, I'll show you. For some reason that looks like a drowned cat, so I don't know, I'll leave that to your imagination. So that's a sphagnum moss, and that kind of colonises bog pools. And how you tell a sphagnum is that it has these little rosettes. You see that little, that's like a little rosette there. That's like an... So that's really indicative of a sphagnum moss. So sphagnum moss retains a lot of water. So that's not taken up out of the pool. So if you...
Sphagnum can retain 8 times its weight of water, holds water until it needs it, and has antibacterial qualities. These are just some of the many reasons that have attracted NASA research into using it in space gardens to grow food on long space journeys. Not so long ago, there was a recognition of the damage traditional turf cutting was causing to this special habitat, and in order to preserve it, the state bought it in 1990 and turned it into a national park. And so began the long-term preservation work of blocking the turf drains that were slowly draining the bog's life-preserving water away.
A drain in a bog, it's just like a constant bleed. Bogs need water to survive. So you can see the bog drain. This is one of the drains, and then they're kind of dammed, and then this is another dam. But you can see that it's been breached, so the water has kind of eroded its way and making its way down there. So should there ever be any further work done, I mean, the first thing you would do would be to kind of replace this dam, just to retain the water that's here, because it is helping. If these drains hadn't been, or these dams hadn't been put in place, you can imagine how much drier this place would be, because you can see it's working really well, holding back the water.
Of the many benefits that the bog brings us, one directly affects the quality of the drinking water we take from the Liffey.
Peat is actually mediating, the bog is mediating the water as it falls. It's kind of filtering it through the sphagnum mosses, through the sedges, through the bog cottons. So that's purifying the water. So, you know, our bogs play a really important, they call it an ecosystem service, and it's to water. There's research going on, Queen's University, UCD, we're involved in that. They've compared 3 different sites across Ireland, from the Garonne to Quilca to the Ox Mountains in Sligo, and they're trying to quantify the benefits so that people will really appreciate that this is true. This is a delivery, this is deliverable from the bog. It's a societal benefit.
Fires are another threat to the bog. After a devastating one in 2018, Andrea has watched the bog slowly recover from that terrible event.
The first things to come back after a fire are grasses, and we have some deer grass here. And after a fire, people say, "Oh, well, it greens up," but it's not. It's not the same kind of plants that comes back, because the whole chemistry is changed when it's burnt, and it dries it out. I mean, you see how dry that is, you know. And you can see here where the fire just caught the peat. It's all charred, so you can see there's absolutely nothing grown back on that now. So that's where the peat was just burning away. Fire is huge, devastating on the habitat. I think it's always at risk. Bogs are always at risk currently, but I do have hope in the future, because there is a greater awareness and it is a protected site. So I think we're getting there, but there will always be a risk.
We have the technology, we have the knowledge now to make a difference and to change things, and you know, it behoves us to do it, for not just for ourselves but for our children and next generations, because it's a resource that will continue to give into the future.